Let's get right into it. Number 1, the dark is lying to you. Picture this. You're walking through your house at night, just trying to grab a midnight snack, when suddenly your brain decides every shadow is a demon, and that coat rack is definitely breathing. Why? Because your ancient ancestors were really, really bad at not dying in the dark. Your fear of the dark isn't just about monsters under the bed, it's a full-blown evolutionary alarm system. Back when bed was a patch of dirt and monsters were actual fanged predators, people who weren't afraid of the dark tended to become lion snacks. So the ones who were twitchy about every twig snap, they survived, reproduced, and passed on their hyper-alert genes. Modern version, you panic when your phone flashlight flickers. Your brain still thinks there's a saber-toothed tiger behind your couch. Basically, your nervous system is throwing a tantrum in your honor. Number 2, heights make your brain betray you. You know that thing where you look over a balcony and your brain casually whispers, "Jump?" That's not you being secretly suicidal. That's the high place phenomenon. And it's basically your brain glitching out because it loves drama. See, your visual system and your survival instincts are constantly arguing. One says, "We're safe," and the other says, "Lies, we're falling to our doom." So your brain makes up a worst-case scenario, just in case. It's like your neurons are running a horror movie trailer without your permission. Why does this exist? Because falling from a height used to mean game over. So evolution decided, let's make the very idea of being up high mildly terrifying, just in case. Now you get a jolt of fear just from changing a light bulb. Awesome. Number 3, snakes, spiders, and stuff with too many legs. Let's talk about your over-the-top reaction to bugs. You see a spider the size of a Tic Tac, and suddenly you're performing an Olympic-level backflip out of the room. Even if you know it can't hurt you, your body disagrees, loudly. This isn't because you're a wimp. It's because your ancestors survived by being ridiculously suspicious of anything venomous, especially the quiet, crawly ones that hid in your shoes or your sleeping bag, or, your prehistoric leaf blanket. What's wild is that even babies show fear reactions to spiders and snakes without ever being taught. That's how deep this stuff is coded. Your DNA basically comes with a built-in nope alarm for anything scaly, slithery, or suspiciously leggy. Evolution didn't have a chill setting. Number 4, that feeling of being watched. Ever get the sense someone's watching you, even when you're totally alone? Yeah, that's not just your anxiety, it's your primal paranoia working overtime. Back in tribal days, the ones who noticed eyes in the bushes first were the ones who didn't get speared, eaten, or socially shunned. Your brain evolved to constantly scan for faces, even in total darkness. That's why you see faces in tree bark or electrical outlets. It's called pareidolia, and it's your brain screaming, "Better safe than shanked." So that creepy sensation of being watched, it's your caveman firmware pinging for possible threats, even if the only thing in the room is a coat rack and your trust issues. Number 5, loud noises. Hijack your soul. You know that moment when something slams or crashes and you flinch so hard you practically shed your skeleton? Yeah, blame your amygdala. It's the brain's drama queen, and it lives for loud, sudden noises. See, your ancient ancestors didn't have ambulances, car alarms, or drunk people yelling on the street at 2 a.m. They had saber-toothed tigers and falling rocks. So a loud sound meant run or die, not someone dropped a pot. Fast forward a few millennia, and your brain still treats every sound above 80 decibels like a life or death situation. Even babies freak out at sudden sounds because this response is factory installed. It's called the startle reflex, and it's less of a personality quirk and more of a survival feature. Basically, your nervous system is on red alert 24/7, waiting for the next imaginary stampede. Number 6, open spaces equals existential panic. Imagine standing in the middle of an empty field, no trees, no cover, just sky, and suddenly feeling weirdly exposed. Welcome to space phobia, the fear of wide open spaces. It's not about agoraphobia in the psychological sense. It's a primal discomfort baked into your brain stew. In the wild, open spaces meant you were visible to predators with teeth, and no one wants to be the easiest meal on the savannah. So your ancestors preferred caves, forests, anything with cover. Fast forward, and now you're low-key anxious at rooftop parties or giant parking lots. Why? Because your instincts still think a giant bird is going to swoop down and carry you off like a tragic Greek myth. Oh, and this also explains why people instinctively gravitate to the walls in a crowded room. It's not just introversion, it's centuries of don't get ambushed training. Number 7. Fire is hypnotic for a reason. You ever just stare at a campfire and feel weirdly calm, but also kind of haunted? That's not just your inner pyromaniac. That's ancient software loading in the background. Fire was a huge deal to early humans. It meant safety, warmth, light, and cooked food instead of raw squirrel sushi. So your brain associates it with comfort, but also danger. Because while fire is helpful, it also loves to burn your entire existence to the ground if you look away for 2 seconds. This duality means you're drawn to it, mesmerized even, but always a little on edge. It's basically the original toxic relationship. Number 8, drowning in silence. There's something deeply creepy about complete silence. Not peaceful, creepy. Like your ears are holding their breath. That's not just your imagination, it's your danger radar flipping out. Back in the wild, silence usually meant one thing. Something was about to happen. Predators stalking prey don't hum little tunes. They go silent. So, when everything gets quiet, your body assumes you're about to be the surprise guest at nature's murder party. Even today, total silence can be unsettling. That's why horror movies use it right before the jump scare. Your brain's already primed to freak out, so the scare just confirms what your gut already knew. Trust no one, not even your ears. Number 9, fear of holes, aka trypophobia. Let's talk about the weird, itchy discomfort you feel when you see holes clustered together, like lotus seed pods or those cursed close-ups of sponges. If that made your skin crawl, congrats. You've just met trypophobia, the irrational fear of hole patterns. And yes, it's real. No, it's not just you. Science is still catching up, but one theory says your brain associates those patterns with danger. Think diseased skin, venomous creatures, or things that should not be touched under any circumstances. Your visual system registers holes and immediately sends a group text to your skin, your spine, and your fight or flight reflexes. Even if it's harmless, your body's like, just in case this sponge gives you medieval plague vibes, we're going to feel itchy for 6 hours. Basically, your brain is glitching out because of an ancient disease detection system that's now being triggered by artisanal soap. Number 10, eyeballs. Staring straight at you. Let's say you're walking down the street and someone gives you a long, unblinking stare. Your whole body tenses, your heart races, and suddenly you're in fight or flee mode. Why? Because direct eye contact is biologically loaded. Back in prehistoric times, prolonged eye contact usually meant 2 things: dominance or danger. Predators make eye contact before pouncing. Rivals do it before punching. So your brain interprets it as, oh cool, a challenge to the death. Even now, too much eye contact feels invasive. We teach kids not to stare, but your instincts already hate it. That's also why horror movies love unblinking ghosts. They tap into that primal, wired-in fear of something staring too long and not blinking. Nothing screams danger like a creepy kid with eye contact skills. Number 11, you versus your own reflection. Ever glance in a mirror in the dark and freak out for a split second? That wasn't just a jump scare. It was your brain experiencing a brief moment of, wait, who's that? It's called the Troxler effect, and it basically means your brain, when deprived of light and contrast, starts editing your reflection into something else. Add a sprinkle of low light, sleep deprivation, or stress, and voila, your face morphs into a horror show. Thanks, brain. This is why old legends about mirrors being portals or soul traps exist. Ancient humans didn't have clean mirrors or ring lights. They had murky puddles and haunted bronze. Seeing your warped face blink back at you, that's an existential crisis with a horror twist. So when you avoid mirrors at 3 a.m., you're not crazy. You're just following thousands of years of spiritual side-eye. Number 12, the fear of being buried alive. Was totally reasonable. Okay, modern fears? Losing Wi-Fi, accidentally liking an ex's photo from 2013, parallel parking. Ancient fears? Being buried alive. And here's the wild part. That one wasn't even irrational. Back in the 17th and 18th centuries, medical science was more like educated guesswork in a powdered wig. People were declared dead because they looked dead. So yeah, you had folks waking up 6 feet under. Enter safety coffins, with bells, flags, even breathing tubes. Not for the drama, for the people who weren't actually dead yet. That fear got passed down in stories, superstitions, and our collective nightmares. So if you feel weird in tight spaces or can't handle horror movies involving coffins, congrats, you're just running 1800s anti-zombie software in your modern brain. Number 13. Why sudden crowds freak you out. You're walking through a mall or a music festival, and suddenly, bam, your nervous system starts screaming, "Abort mission!" Why? Because somewhere deep in your DNA, crowds equals danger. In the wild, too many humans in one place usually meant a crisis, predators, a fight, a stampede, or an outbreak of something gross and medieval. The safest thing you could do was not be there. Today, we treat anxiety in crowds like a phobia, but it's actually just your ancient brain going, why are all these people standing so close? Are we under attack? Is food running out? Is this a plague parade? And then someone sneezes and your inner caveman grabs the exit map. Number 14. Storms were basically sky gods having tantrums thunder. Lightning, your power flickers. Somewhere deep inside, your body does a weird clench, like you've just been personally judged by Zeus. That's not just weather anxiety, it's ancient people trauma. Storms meant danger. Trees falling, floods, lightning strikes. Before umbrellas and weather apps, people huddled and prayed because the sky literally tried to kill them. Every single year. Your ancestors developed myths and rituals to appease the sky. And while you might not be sacrificing goats, your brain still gives storms a side eye. It's leftover storm dread, pre-installed by every ancestor who made it through a thunderous night and decided, yep, definitely sorcery. Number 15. That awkward need to look behind you. You ever walk upstairs at night and suddenly feel like something is behind you, ready to drag you into the void? That's not just horror movie conditioning. That's predator paranoia. Back in the wild, if you heard a noise behind you and didn't look, that could be the last noise you ever ignored. So your body evolved to ping alerts when your back is exposed, especially in the dark, especially when alone. Your rational brain says, there's nothing there. Your lizard brain says, then why are we sprinting like Scooby-Doo? Basically, your DNA is convinced you live in a haunted forest with excellent cardio instincts.